everyone, and welcome to A Little Happily Ever After. If you haven't guessed by the name already, this channel is full of all things Disney. If you want to know a little bit more about me, my name is Lauren and I'm the creator behind the channel. There is a video which is linked down below, which is me talking about myself, just if you want to get to know me a little bit more before you watch any more of my videos. So for today's video, we are going to do some controversial, I'm going to put it in quotation marks, Disney opinions. Sorry, Stitch joined me because I go off topic. So I've changed location, if you haven't realised from my last two videos. I'm currently downstairs because at the minute myself and my boyfriend are working from home. So I've got the downstairs and he's upstairs in like the spare bedroom style thing. That's his office where I normally film, and I finished work before him. So I was like, let's record a video now. So that's why I am down here. So I brought in Stitch, and I'll move this slightly, and my up cushion just to try and make the downstairs a little more Disney-fied, even if upstairs I do only have an up bag. But still. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to do some controversial Disney opinions. Now the reason I put it in quotation marks is because obviously the word controversial can be different to different people. Some people will find some of these things quite common, some people won't. It's just things that are maybe not a straightforward Disney opinion, you know? So we're going to do some of these. We've got some which are just mine, and then we're also going to discuss some that some of my Instagram friends and followers have given me that are their opinions. So we're going to go through some today. I have got quite a lot, so I think I might do a part 2 if people do like this video. So we will get started with our opinions, and let's see what controversial Disney opinions I and others have. So we'll get it right there. Take 2. So we'll get right in with our controversial opinions. So my first opinion is that I have no desire to go to Casey's Corner. Ever. Now, some people might hate me for this because I know Casey's Corner is a staple of Main Street and Magic Kingdom. However, hear me out. So when I go to Disney, obviously I'm the same as everyone else. I enjoy pigging out. I enjoy eating everything and anything. And normally when I've gone the last couple of times, I've been on the dining plan. Please bring it back. Please bring it back is all I can say. And I enjoy having everything and anything. I utilise everything that I have on the dining plan and will eat everywhere. However, I'm always someone who I would not run straight for the fast food stereotypical things of burgers, chicken nuggets, hot dogs and things like that. Now I can appreciate them and I do like them. Like I do like all those foods, but for me, I would rather go and eat at Pico Bill's than eat at Casey's Corner. And I would rather go eat at Satuli Canteen rather than eating at Pizza Fari, if that makes any sense to you. Like, and especially me, I do love pizza. But when I'm at Disney, I like to try and eat things at places that I can't eat at home. So at home, I can get a burger, I can get a hot dog, I can get chicken nuggets wherever I want. Whereas in Disney, you've got all these credits, especially me, when I've got credits in front of me, I would rather try and find something different that I can't get at home. Like the blueberry cheesecake mousse that you can get from Satuli Canteen, oh my gosh. And I know you can make it at home. There's obviously the Disney cookbook, which I have here. This feels like promotion, but I promise you it's not. I just really like it. Obviously in here, you've now got loads of recipes that you can make yourself. However, I don't think I would ever be able to make it quite like they do. And I would just rather go to other places. So for me with Casey's Corner, it's not that I'm saying their hot dogs are bad, that I don't like the look of them, but if I'm going to Magic Kingdom, I won't be stopping there, if that makes sense. And I don't ever have a desire to, just because if I'm only at Magic Kingdom for a few days, for example, because when I'm coming from the UK, obviously we'll tend to come 2 weeks, 2 weeks of 15 days. And if I'm at Magic Kingdom maybe like 3 or 4 times during that, for short periods or a whole day, for example, I'm not going to pick Casey's Corner over other food options to have. So that's my number 1 opinion, is that I will never go to Casey's Corner. Okay, so opinion number 2 is that the United Kingdom Pavilion is way too stereotypical at times. Now, again, I'm not saying I don't like the United Kingdom Pavilion. I do enjoy the United Kingdom Pavilion. I don't spend much time there when I am in Epcot, just because of the fact that it's, you know, it's where I'm from. I go and get a Welsh Dragon. I do go and get the Welsh Dragon cocktail because that is very nice. If you've not had it, it's great on a warm day. It's very quenching. It's lovely. But I would never stop there for food, for example, because obviously there the main thing is fish and chips, and obviously that's something that I can get from around the corner for me. So I would never necessarily eat at the United Kingdom Pavilion because it just seems a bit pointless when it's where I'm from. And there is some good things there, like some of the bands that play out the back, and obviously you can meet things like Mary Poppins, for example. However, it's always it goes to this stereotype, I think, of the United Kingdom and England, that we all sip tea all day and, you know, we all talk very with a London accent and it's all very well spoken. I mean, I'm from the north of England. Now on this video I might sound a bit like I talk a lot less common, but I think that's just the same way you have a phone voice, you try and talk as nicely as you can. However, we don't all sound like that. We have different dialects and we all sound different, and I just think it would be nice to see even more representation of different parts, because there's a lot aimed towards kind of the capital cities of the United Kingdom, whereas like the main capital, things like London, for example, I would kind of like to see a bit more from the other cities across the United Kingdom as well. Some more kind of foods that come from different areas would be nice. Just a little bit more, so it's a better representation of the United Kingdom, not just the stereotype of the United Kingdom. Now that's not to say I don't think Disney don't do a fantastic job, because I know as well with obviously with the culture exchange program, they do get people from the UK to work there, which I think is fantastic and should definitely happen. I love that around the country, being able to talk to people from their native countries, but I do think there could be a little bit more done to improve that stereotype of the United Kingdom. Okay, so opinion number 3 is that I would much rather meet characters than princesses and princes. Now again, this might not be that stereotypical, however for me, if I was to see two people stood there, so for example, if I had Cinderella on this side and Baymax on this side, I would be running towards this side. I appreciate the princesses and princes and the live action performers because of the amount of effort that goes into them. They always look flawless, they look beautiful and stunning, and they do a really, really good job, because obviously they have to, you know, there's a little bit more to it in terms of the fact they actually have to, you know, put on either the accents, they have to think about their responses to answers, whereas obviously a lot of the characters, where in the costumes they don't necessarily have to speak, so they don't maybe have to think on their feet as much. So I can appreciate everything that those character performers do. I do, and if you are one, I do think you are incredible, and do not think that's me saying that, because I do. I think it's just for me, I'm more into, and this is possibly another controversial opinion mashed in with it there, I'm a lot more of a Pixar fan than I am a fan of the Disney classics. Now I can appreciate the classics. If anyone watched my musicals list, again that is linked below as well, if anyone watched that, you'll have noticed that there wasn't many classics in. There was Beauty and the Beast, and everything else was kind of newer. That's just kind of my preference of Disney films, Disney musicals, that sort of thing, and I think that's possibly why I would rather meet characters from the Pixar films than the Disney classics, just because that's kind of what I'm into. And I just love, you know, some of the costumes, they're so like fluffy, and things like Olaf and like the hugs with the little arms and stuff. That's just more me, and I would be more than happy to meet princesses and princes and the live characters, because I have met plenty of them and I love it. If I had an option between one and the other, I would rather meet kind of the cartoon characters, or like the non-live characters. Number 4 of my opinions is I despise cinnamon rolls. I know people might be sad at this, because I know there's a lot of people that love cinnamon, and I know, for example, cinnamon is also on things like churros. I've never liked it, and the thing I have tried, like, and the weird thing is sometimes I have tried churros, for example, and if they're coated, i.e. like coated in toppings, I can normally get away with them because I can't taste the cinnamon that much. But if I can taste cinnamon in something, can't eat it. And it makes me really sad because I see people putting on, for example, like the Gaston's like cinnamon rolls and things like that, and they look incredible to look at, but for me personally, I could not eat it. I just don't like cinnamon. I've never liked the taste of it. I don't like cinnamon drinks, cinnamon food, anything like that. And it is a shame because I know there is a lot of like Disney snacks that come out that have cinnamon on, but unfortunately for me, they would have to be a solid pass. Okay, so number 5, and please hear me out before people jump on me. Number 5 is, personally, I think when people put kids on their shoulders for fireworks, it's a little selfish. No. Please hear me out before anyone says anything. So, the reason that I think it is a little bit selfish when people put kids on their shoulders for kind of performances, parades, fireworks shows, that sort of thing, I think it's because I can completely understand as a kid that, you know, when you go to Disney, you want to see everything. And especially in a big crowd, we'll use Happily Ever After for an example, you know, you want your kid to be able to see the fireworks. I would, when I have kids, when I take my kids to Disney, I want nothing more than them to be able to witness everything, a full view of everything that's there. However, I've had some experiences where I've been around people, now it's not been me that's necessarily been affected because I've managed to somehow maneuver myself out the way to be able to see myself and not affect anyone else around me, but it's the people where they will, you know, they'll come in late and then they'll put kids on the shoulders, and there'll be people that have been queuing up for ages and ages behind them, and they've now got a completely blocked view. And there's kids behind them and kids behind them, and it's this, I don't like the whole thing of, you know, my kid deserves to see it more than your kid. And I can appreciate for adults and stuff, we can maneuver around a little bit, but we're also trying to be wary of all the kids around us, all the people around us, to make sure everyone gets a fantastic view. And I think when it's the people that refuse to move and their only response is, well, my kid can't see, it's like, right, okay, we can all appreciate that, but there's also all these kids and all these other people who need to see, who have been waiting, and a lot of the time been waiting longer than you have. And yes, for fireworks shows, it is annoying because obviously I can imagine with little kids at times, it can be difficult to get them to, you know, sit around for a while to get a view that's further forward for the fireworks. However, I think people sometimes need to be a little bit more respectful and realise that, you know, there's all these people that want to see it, and there is ways that you can obviously lift your kid up to see it without it being directly on the shoulders, blocking other people's views. There is ways to do it, and I think sometimes people just need to be a little bit more respectful, that's all. Okay, so now we're going to go on to a couple of controversial opinions that have been given to me by my friends and followers. So we're going to go on number 1. I've got the little list in front of me, you can see me looking down. So number 1, which has been brought up once, twice, three times it's been brought up, and it is that Peter Pan's flight is overrated. So I have to say I agree with the people that wrote this. I have linked them down below, and their names are also going to be on the screen over here somewhere over here. But I do have to agree with them. And it's a ride that I used to always want a fast pass for. I did when I was younger, and things that I didn't even go to Disney when I was young as such. I think I was 9 the first time I went to Orlando. So I've never been young when I've gone there, but we always used to get one. But as I've grown older, it's not worth the wait time. It's really not worth the wait time. And I do like it. It's not to say that when I go on it, I don't feel nostalgic, and you know, when you're flying over and you're looking down and you feel like you're obviously, you know, looking over London and stuff, like that is a great feeling. It is a lovely little ride, but it doesn't warrant the wait time. If I'm gonna get a fast pass, I would rather get one for Splash or Space or Thunder or something else rather than wasting it on that. And I think last time, I don't think we even went on it, possibly. Like, so I can agree. I think it could do with an, I was going to say upgrade, but I feel like people may not enjoy that. I just think it's a nostalgic ride. I think people love it for the nostalgia, whereas if you compare it to some of the other rides you can go on, it just doesn't live up. But I think if you've got younger kids, then it's a bit more I could understand, like I think I would try and get one when I have kids, if that makes sense, because I think it is the whole feeling of flying that like can be really, really magical. But for me, as I've got older, it's just not something that I would run to. So I'm going to have to agree with this controversial opinion that Peter Pan's flight is overrated. Okay, so the second opinion, and this is one that I have had debates with many people about, and it is the controversial opinion that Mickey bars are overrated. Yes, 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 yes. What can I say? This is probably one that I agree with flat out 100%. So I'm presuming around the world everyone has different names for them, but for me, a Mickey Premium Bar is just an overrated chalk ice. If you're from the UK, you might know what this is. I'm not too sure what they're called elsewhere in the world, but essentially it's just plain ice cream with chocolate around it. And I appreciate that, you know, I love things that are Mickey shaped. I do. I love Mickey shaped things. I think they look really cute, but do I necessarily think they always taste better? I don't. I've never had one, so some people might say, oh, you've never had one, how do you know? But if I'm going to get an ice cream and there is like all these different things where I could go for all these flavours and styles and with, you know, sprinkles and or fudge or something else on, I'm going to pick that over just a plain Mickey bar with chocolate on it. And I know people love it, and it's like a whole thing in the Disney fandom that everyone loves Mickey Premium Bars. But for me, I think they're just very plain. And I think there's way better ice creams, like there's cookie sandwiches and all sorts that you can get, and I just couldn't ever justify if I had a snack using a snack on that rather than something else. Because especially, for example, use Epcot, you've got the ice cream like sandwiches in France, like I would pick that any day over like just a plain ice cream bar with chocolate. So yeah, I completely agree. That's probably my biggest agree, is that I do think that Mickey bars are completely overrated. So we have some controversy even on the answers that I've got from people. So the controversial opinion is, what do I think of It's a Small World? This is difficult, and I think the It's a Small World debate is incredibly difficult because you can't deny as a Disney fan that it's not a staple of Disney parks. You know, it's a staple that you think of when you think of Disney. The song gets in your head, and it's something that a lot of people relate to Disney. When you're talking about Disney rides, everyone kind of jumps, you think of It's a Small World. And I do try and go on it. I do try and go on it just because it's something that is, like you say, it's a staple of Disney. It's almost like tradition. It's nostalgic, that sort of thing. I do try and go on it. However, I can't deny that I wouldn't wait long. So if the queue is short and I happen to be around the area, or we're looking for something to go on quickly, then yes, I will try and go on it to make sure that I get to go on it at least once. However, I would not queue for it because at the end of the day, it is a very slow boat ride with dolls. And while it is good, and I do think it is, I know it's not just dolls, for example, I know that, but that's what, if you're squishing it down to a nutshell, that is what it is. It's a slower ride and it has dolls and things. And like I say, I can appreciate the amount of artistry and creativity that goes into it to get everything lined up in time, and I do think that is absolutely amazing that they managed to do that. I do, and I do love the ride, but I would never queue long for it. And I went to Paris in 2017, and there was a version mashed with Jingle Bells, and that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. It was like two songs that get in your head mashed together, and it was just in my head all day, and it was an experience. Everything was Christmassy and there was lights, and that was cool to experience. I will say that it was cool to experience it. So I'm kind of in the middle of the train of, you know, some people, I've got someone here saying that it's an elite ride and someone saying that it's the worst ride. I think I sit quite mid-tier. I'm not kind of one way or the other, but all I will say is I wouldn't necessarily pick it over other rides to fast pass or go on. But I would try and go on it I was there. So that is it for today's video. I have so many more left. I have so many more left. So if you do want to see a part 2 with some of the other opinions that I have, please let me know down below in the comments, and please subscribe and turn on the little bell so you can be notified of my videos. Just before I leave, I just want to do my quick shout out to my small shops. So I brought one thing from each of the small shops that I'm a brand rep for. So firstly, we have Lady Jane Dreams coat, which is here. And these are the incredible mermaid ears that I got when I first started to brand rep for her. And you can use Baymax 20, which should be here, for 20% off the full store. And I will link that down below along with the other small shops. Over here we have a knot band from my second shop that I brand rep for, which is called Kingdom Dash. I always nearly say Dash Kingdom. I don't know why, I apologise. Kingdom Dash, and I love these knot bands. I have too many of them. I have way too many of them. They're so nicely done. This is a unicorn one. I have ones like Mean Girls and Up. They have so many styles, and they don't only have knot bands, they have earrings and jumpers and all sorts. So you can use Lauren 10 for 10% off at Kingdom Dash. And the final one, apologies about the video. I realised that I had accidentally left this over there, so I needed to go and get it to make sure I could show it to you. So Sparkle Design by Lucy. This is my latest one that I got. It's Winnie the Pooh. I absolutely adore this, and she again does a variety of different things, such as kind of scrunchies and knot bands and everything else. So definitely go and check her out as well, and you can use this code here, Lauren15, for 15% off. So they are the small shops that I brand rep for. On top of that, I just want to shout out the wonderful place. So I have these two things here and here. So this wonderful jumper is from Disney World. I have ordered so many jumpers from Disney World. I love them. She also does custom designs, and this is my tangled one. I absolutely love this coat so much. So that is from Disney World, and then this here is from Pixie Ear Creations. This is probably one of my most comfortable. I love the middle knot band. I think it's so comfy, it goes with everything. So you can also check them out as well. So I think we're done for today. So as said before, make sure to subscribe, comment and like down below. And if you want to see another one, let me know in the comments. Also let me know some of your controversial Disney opinions if you haven't already, and they might get included in the next video. It's been lovely to do another video, and hopefully I'll be back in a week. I'm trying to do it weekly. I'm a little bit behind this week, but hopefully try and get to you weekly. So I hope you have a magical day, and see you real soon.